Hello and welcome to my review of The Living Daylights. The Living Daylights is the 15th film in the James Bond franchise, and we've arrived at the debut of my personal favourite James Bond actor, Timothy Dalton. And oh my, what a start! The Living Daylights excels in every way possible. It's got great stunts and action, great set pieces, great acting, and a great score. Villains, on the other hand, are most definitely its weakness. We have here Joe Don Baker as Brad Whittaker, who would reappear in GoldenEye Tomorrow Never Dies as CIA agent Jack Wade, and Jerome Krabbe as General Georgy Koskov. Koskov is definitely the more interesting, more developed villain, but I still think that Whittaker has his moments, but he's definitely more sidelined to be the secondary villain, with Koskov being the main one. I feel like he's played very well by Jerome Krabbe, but he's obviously not the most well-remembered villain. And I feel like out of Tim's villains, the villain, while Living Daylights people believe is the better film overall, although I know more recently people believe LTK is a better film. People do understand that License to Kill has the better villain, the more developed villain, and the better, just creative villain of all than Daylights, which is the one way that Daylights has is its villains, which are not the highlight, like I've said already. For the henchman, we have somewhat badass and somewhat underutilized at times. Andras Wysicki as Necros, who's an interesting character. I think he's cool, but he also plays on the same stereotypes that they're using his Red Grant in From Russia with Love, with the stereotypical blonde-haired European assassin, which is just a bit like. They do some new things with Necros here, but it's not as well developed to say, or as good as Red Grant and other such characters. For the female, we have the beautiful Mariam Diabo as Cara Malovi, who is a bimbo at times, but it definitely, out of all of the characters, obviously you have Vesper and Tracy, who is believed to fall in love. When you watch this film, you generally feel like that he actually cares for Cara and is not just using her to get what he wants, and he actually does. And if there was any of the other characters that Bond's ever experienced that he would actually fall in love with and go away and marry that we've seen in the films, it probably would be Cara, would be the most obvious one if you ask me. For allies, we have the fun and enigmatic Art Malik as Cameron Shah, who, fun fact, would reappear the actor would play parts in two of my other favourite TV series. He appeared in The Woman Who Fell to Earth in Doctor Who, and he appeared in a couple of episodes of Man Like Mobeen recently, which is one of the best TV shows ever made. But yeah, that's a fun fact about Art Malik. He's a very good actor. Standout scenes include the action-packed pre-title sequence, the post-title sequence, aka Koskov's defection, the Q-Branch scene, the house fight, the ice chase, Bond interrogating Pushkin in his hotel, Pushkin's fake assassination, both escapes from the airbase, and the final showdown between Bond and Whittaker, which are all very good scenes and I enjoy very much. And I think that the action in this film is on top notch, although I do feel like the action would get slightly better in the next one. I think the action here is on top notch. So yeah, we have music is for the final time by John Barry, his swan song, which is kind of fitting because at the very end of the film he appears as a conductor. He cameos as a conductor in the film, so it's kind of fitting that his final film was he cameoed in, although I'll explain after I've listed the tracks. This may not have actually been his final film, but hey, we'll get to that in just a minute. Standout track, again, like I've written in the review, who really goes out on a bang. He even appears as a cameo as a conductor at the end of the film. Standout tracks include Necros Attacks, Ice Chase, which is my personal favourite, I listen to all the time, Into Vienna, Hercules Takes Off, Exercise at Gibraltar, and a special shout out to Where Has Everybody Gone and If There Was a Man by the Pretenders, which was, Where Has Everybody Gone was originally going to be the main song for this film, but I think it wasn't too late into production that they changed it, and it wasn't that both songs are blended into the score perfectly, and it's not like the case where you had with Thunderball, Tomorrow Never Dies, where the original song was blended into the score, and then at the last moment they changed the track to something different. That's not what happened here. Both songs are implemented into the score, because you can hear Where Has Everybody Gone in Necros Attacks, and then you can hear The Living Daylights in Hercules Takes Off, so they're definitely both integrated there. And also want to point out that Exercise at Gibraltar, which is the gun barrel song in this film, is by far Barry's best piece of gun barrel music he's ever composed. So it obviously took him right to the end to do a really good piece, but I felt like this is where he peaked with his gun barrel music, which is, it's interesting to say, but still, I think that's the best piece of gun barrel music that Barry has ever composed. in my personal opinion. So that's just a little fact I like about it. Like in terms of the actual, not the rest of the track after the gun barrel, the actual piece of music version of the Bond theme that plays over the gun barrel, which is unique in this film, is his best piece of gun barrel music, and probably one of the best gun barrels in the whole franchise. Although I do have to say I adore the gun barrel in the next film because it sets the tone perfectly. But we'll get there tomorrow. To conclude, The Living Daylights was the right film at the right time and gave the world a fantastic introduction to the best Bond. And then once we go to my personal favourite film, James Bond film, my personal favourite James Bond film, License to Kill. So yeah, I just want to say that like Living Daylights is just one of the best films in the entire franchise, and it more recently after rewatching it again, I've really come to the conclusion that it's really hard, and if I really want to push Daylights to be above License to Kill because they're both that good. I used to think to myself that I only put Daylights a second because it's a Dalton film and I like Dalton films, but actually going back to it, it's actually one of the best, and I'm happy to put it at 2 at the moment, but I'm actually considering moving it to 1 because it was that much fun rewatching it. So yeah, but yeah, thank you guys for watching this. Obviously, we've got License to Kill review tomorrow. I did not watch GoldenEye yesterday because I was watching the fantastic TV show WandaVision, and I just want to make a mini announcement here that me, Flame Fox Shores, and another friend of mine are going to be starting a podcast soon. We've got the temp name, the Dead Meme Podcast, so that's going to be going up on both my channel and Flame Fox Shores channels once we get started on it. We haven't got a date or time for the first episode yet. We're just in pre-production at the moment for it, trying to find software to record it using OBS and all that stuff. But that is the official announcement trailer for our brand new podcast, the Dead Meme Podcast, which we're talking about lots of different things. I'm going to try and weave my James Bondness into it because why the fuck not? Because they enjoy James Bond as well, so it'll be fun. We're talking about James Bond, Doctor Who, video games, all sorts of movies, Disney Plus, WandaVision, all that fun stuff. Anything, and theme parks as well. I hope to try and get some of that in. So yeah, main topics I'm thinking of, like that sort of things will be James Bond, Doctor Who, theme parks, video games, lots of different movies, all these sort of things we're going to be talking about, so it's going to be a blast. Me and my friends realised we could talk for so long that it would work as a podcast, so yeah, that's coming soon. Very excited to start that. Me and my friends have always wanted to do a podcast, and now just seems like the right time to do it. So stay tuned for that, guys. Thank you for watching my Living Daylights review. Living Daylights is one of the best films. I'll keep on reiterating it, but it really is one of the standout films in the franchise. It's a film that I recommend everybody go watch, and if you're it's not in the Masterpiece trilogy, which again neither is License to Kill. That's because those films are my favourite films, but a general consensus is that Goldfinger, The Spy Who Loved Me, GoldenEye, and Skyfall are the Masterpiece collection, in my opinion. But yeah, it's a film I recommend everyone to go and see. Living Daylights is brilliant. And I just wish I could have been alive when it originally came out. It has a brilliant score. It's just wonderful to watch, and I really think that Living Daylights is after what many believed was the low point of A View to a Kill. It really helped everyone realise that Bond can still be relevant and Bond can still be accurate to Fleming. And I'm pretty sure if Fleming was still alive when Daylights came out, he would have been incredibly happy with Timothy Dalton's portrayal of the character, because again, like most people say, Timothy Dalton is Ian Fleming's James Bond. That's a fact. Sean Connery is James Bond. That's a fact too. But Timothy Dalton is Ian Fleming's James Bond, and I've been seeing a lot of comments in some YouTube videos about Timothy Dalton and the trailer for Living Daylights, is that there seems to be a general consensus is that Timothy Dalton's films are very underrated, and this is what I have been shouting for a very long time since first seeing them, because a little backstory with me and the Living Daylights. This is probably going to take up the last chunk of the video, but yeah, just a little backstory. So when I was younger, I think it was a year or so before Spectre came out, I would each week for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I would go into HMV and I would buy two to three Bond films. I think the first week I bought 3, and then after that it was 2. And the first 3 actors I chose were Sean Connery, Roger Moore, and Pierce Brosnan. So I bought Goldfinger, I bought Man with the Golden Gun, and I bought Die Another Day. Which, I mean, the last 2, not the best decision, but that does mean that I have a soft spot for those 2, and I bought those 2. And the next week, I went in and I had the choice of I picked Lazenby and Dalton, and obviously Lazenby has the one, and I would bet when I was 11, 12ish at the time. So when going into HMV to pick up my Dalton pick, I had the option of The Living Daylights, which was rated PG, and the option of The License to Kill, which was rated 15, which my aunt wouldn't let me buy License to Kill because it was rated 15, so I had no choice but to purchase Living Daylights. So I saw Living Daylights first, and License to Kill was actually the last of all the Bond films I watched. Like when I say watched, as in the first time I ever saw it. The last one I ever watched was License to Kill because it was 15. So I know GoldenEye is as well, but I don't know why I just hold it off on License to Kill for so long because I had seen so many videos. I'd watched Everything or Nothing, the James Bond documentary about James Bond and seeing clips on License to Kill being very dark and bloody. I just didn't want to watch it because I thought it would scare me as a child that I was then. But then, obviously, after Spectre and all that came out, I decided to sit down and watch License to Kill. I remember it was on my small little TV just over there. You can't see what I'm talking about, but in the corner of my room, in this little alcove bit, I'd sit down and I'd watch License to Kill. But yeah, that was just my little history of Living Daylights. So it was my first Timothy Dalton film, which doesn't surprise me or anyone. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll have links in the description to Letterboxd review, Linktree. I'm going to put Flame Fox Jaws and his Linktree in the description again because, again, like I said in the last review, he is aiming for Easter holiday pre-production start on the outtakes animation. So yeah, that's going to be coming soon as well. So things to look forward to. Other than this, we're going to be doing just a little. We have the animation of the outtakes. We have the podcast coming soon, and then I edited it yesterday. I edited a No Time to Die trailer compilation, which once I've completed the Bond review series and I've released the Spectre review, the next day after the Spectre review at about 12 o'clock, it's currently unlisted on my channel, so only people with links can see it. I will publish the No Time to Die official trailer compilation, and what that has in it is, what that has in it is all the official trailers. So I've gone to the 007 channel and I found all of the official trailers they put up in 1080p HD, downloaded them off the internet and compiled them together. So that's the teaser for the teaser trailer, all the 3 or 4 spots they had for the Billie Eilish show, the NBA spot, the Oscar spot, and the big game spot. Then the teaser for the second trailer, and then the second trailer. And that comes to around 7 minutes of video, which obviously 4 minutes of that is the 2 official trailers. The rest of it is the spots combined together, which is fun. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Those are things coming up. Go watch Living Daylights. It's fucking brilliant. You will not be disappointed. Trust me, Living Daylights is a masterpiece in my opinion. It's one of the best films ever made. Thank you guys for watching and have a wonderful day and goodbye for now. Subscribe and hit that bell, please. Podcast coming soon.